Welcome everybody to another Wednesday wrap-up, your weekly entertainment wrap-up brought to you by Borderline Entertainment right here on twitch.tv/Borderline Entertainment. But if you find that you're watching it on YouTube, that means you're catching it a few days later, but it also means that you're missing the whole crux of the show. It is a live show where you, the audience, get to be a part of the conversation as we cover the hottest topics in entertainment news. I want to let you know that this show is brought to you by our patrons, and don't forget, you can be one too. Head over to patreon.com, search Borderline Entertainment, and consider being a patron today. Even $1 a month makes a world of difference. Every time that you donate $1 a month, a child will not go hungry. You know what? Me messing up that joke tells me that it was not appropriate. I should not have even have tried. Now, you might be unfamiliar with the way we do things, so let me give you a quick breakdown. We take news topics Wednesday to Wednesday, we shuffle them all up, we pick out 4 standout winners, we rank them and give them to you in a more digestible piece. But before we get started, welcome back, Will. Will's been gone for a few weeks.
I am so excited to be back and be back doing this with you here, Asa. So yeah, I took a little hiatus. Had a couple trips that came up and just needed to get my life back together after those trips. Again, like I said, took a little hiatus, but I am excited to be back. We have a lot of great news. Asa did a great job covering all the news that was going on.
Heck yeah, I did.
A lot happened during the time I was gone. So let's just dive right into the topics because I'm excited to get this going.
Boom shakalaka. Now, before I forget, I'm going to pull up the chat because I started the show without the chat up, and I can see people are watching, and I don't want to be one of those jagweeds that has a stream and he doesn't interact with the viewers because that's just not cool, and that is not who we are. So the chat is up.
Boom.
The few people that are watching, please feel free, hop in and join the conversation. Anyways, that brings us to our first award of the night, the Apple of the Week, the best news story in entertainment news, and that goes to James Gunn.
I don't know what to say exactly, but I always wanted to make this type of movies.
Yes.
The new
back, baby.
The new old director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
So, James Gunn being back, this is really exciting. There was a lot of questions in the air as to what the directions of Guardians of the Galaxy was going to take, and if they were going to even possibly do a third Guardians of the Galaxy film, considering the controversy that surrounded James Gunn, the firing from Disney and Marvel, and him being fired was due to this Twitter scandal that escalated, but he's been reinstated, and I think a lot of that had to come from pressures outside of what kind of direction Guardians was going to move in. There were certain actors.
Bautista.
Yeah, that guy. He was even saying that he was not going to come back to Guardians at all if James Gunn was not reinstated. So it's great to see him back. So now the controversy is he is going to be finishing up his project with Suicide Squad 2 prior to beginning filming of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which before him being let go was originally supposed to start shooting in fall of 2018. So we're a little bit behind pace here, and we know how on pace Marvel likes to be when it comes to releasing their films. They like a structure, they have a game plan in mind. So what are your thoughts on this?
I think it would be good for them to get started, but then hopefully, he can pick it up, clean things up. I mean, they're no stranger to reshoots in the movie worlds, so I'm just happy he's back, because otherwise I didn't think that Guardians 3 was even going to happen.
Yeah. No, I think, that was another major question. Is this even going to happen? But I will say, even if, with the Suicide Squad film that is going to be coming up under his lead, I'm actually excited for that as well, just given the direction that he gave Guardians of the Galaxy, what he was able to do with those characters, with that portion of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's fun, it's exciting, it's upbeat, it bucks the trend of what we had typically seen for those Marvel films that had been feeling a little bit more formulaic. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to see, and I think there's a lot he can actually do with the Suicide Squad characters as well. That's a topic for a whole nother day.
Right.
But we're just happy James is back.
Congratulations again to James Gunn. You win the Apple of the Week, the best news story in entertainment news. We know that not all news is good news, and that brings us to our Onion of the Week, the worst news story in entertainment news.
Yeah.
And that goes to Marvel.
Only a group of marvelous people can stop it. What are you prepared to do?
What?
Right?
Marvel? We were just praising Marvel. What? No, there were some headlines that broke out talking about a mistake that they had made to the existing characters post-snap from what happened in Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
A character was left off, which was the soldier of Black Panther's, I even can't even remember her name.
The actress's name, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but it's Denai
Yes.
Gurai?
So her character, there was a lot of backlash because her character was left off of the newer poster that had debuted for Avengers Endgame. And they did ultimately end up fixing the poster, so now her character is being shown there. The other issue that had popped up was that the directors of the film had gone on to say that, yes, we are actually showing footage in the trailers that will not make the final cut of the film. We've seen these tactics used before. It's not uncommon. However, to just blatantly come out with it and say, yeah, hey, it's not making the cut, but still utilizing the footage. I'm having flashbacks to Rogue One. We saw a lot of amazing footage in the Rogue One trailer that we're like, okay, when are we going to see this? Okay. And it just never came.
We were a little stinky over the onion of the week. So let's end that section and we'll move over into some funny news.
Let's move on. Yeah.
Congratulations again to Marvel. You do win the onion of the week, the worst news story in entertainment news. Maybe try to be honest next time you put out a trailer, okay?
Fake news. Hashtag fake news, man.
Yeah, we teach kids not to lie, but whatever. Fake news. That brings us to the banana of the week, the funniest news story in entertainment news, and that goes to Google. Now, for those who don't have their ear to the ground, GDC is this week, the Game Developers Conference, and wow, the big search giant, the one that essentially controls the world, Google, announced that they are entering into the video game space with their new streaming service called Stadia.
Which is plural for stadium.
I think they were just trying to be too cool. Too cool for school.
Who do you think they are? Apple?
Right? To give you the cliff notes on what Stadia is, so it's not a console. Everyone, when Google said that they're going to be entering into the gaming space, everyone thought they were going to come up with a new console. If you remember from last week's show, they won the banana then too, because they were the mock-ups of the controllers that they were going to come out, and they were a joke. And that just furthered that thought that they are coming out with a console, but they put those suspicions to rest and told us that they're coming out with a streaming service. So you will be able to, on any device that has Google Chrome or whatever, it wasn't fully any Google-enabled device, you're going to be able to play games.
Kind of touching on the controller aspect of it, to my understanding, it's essentially a Netflix for video games. That's my understanding of it. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I don't understand why Google thinks that this is it. They're going to change the world.
Yeah, it's a bold move, bold statement, and I think there's a lot to be learned. I mean, you said it yourself. We've seen this come to play in the past.
Yep.
These large companies who can just throw money at something thinking that this is going to be the next big thing and ultimately just ends up being a big flop.
And the industry is just going nuts. And there were a lot of people that brought up some really good points. And I'm not going to go into too much depth because this isn't strictly a video games show, but just some ideas to keep in your head with this. Because again, Google tried to drop the mic. I think in their heads, they're like, oh man, we freaking killed it. And really it's hold on, buddy. Let me humble you in the best way possible. So this comes from Mark Medina at IGN. And Will, you talked about this. What about people with not good internet connection speeds? They didn't talk about prices. They didn't talk about games. They showed a couple and, had that splash image of different companies that they're working with. But that was it. There wasn't a whole lot about how much are those games going to cost?
Exactly.
They talk about the, State play, where you can pick up and play by watching a video on YouTube and clicking play. But do you have to pay for that? Is that just like a time trial demo? It's just
Well, and another thing is you have to consider the consumer base that does not actually utilize have Xbox Live, or I forget what it is. They don't have the online services. They may just pick up a game, play the story, and that's what they want.
Right.
They're not looking for any type of multiplayer, online interactive, experiences. They're simply there to play the game, get through it. And what happens when you don't have those capabilities and they're eliminating that consumer base that's not concerned about a connection to the internet.
So congratulations again to Google. You win the banana of the week, the funniest news story in entertainment news. And that brings us to our final news story, the muffin of the week, our personal favorite news story this week. And that goes to Nintendo, because they had a presentation this week too, and it was about indie games, and that just really makes my heart soar. Will, did you get a chance to see anything?
I did not.
So let's jump into why specifically Nintendo is getting the muffin of the week. So yes, they had their Nindies presentation. Normally they have their directs where they have a lot of big announcements, but this is solely talking about the indie developers and the indie games that they are partnering with to release. And I'm not going to go over all of them because there were a ton. I'm going to be a little bit selfish, and I'm going to talk about the ones that were my personal favorites. Cuphead was officially announced by Nintendo to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. There was Overland. I will say it's from Adam Saltzman. I got a chance to demo this last year. And in fact, if you want to see a great interview with the producers, Finji, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch that GDX highlight video. And then one last game that I did want to talk about. No, okay, 3 more. Just give me 3 more.
Oh, man.
There was Rad by Double Fine. Red Lantern is about a musher taking on the Iditarod. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about, and I promise this is it, this is the last one, Cadence of Hyrule. Congratulations, Nintendo. You very much so win the muffin of the week. Now, before I pass it off to Will to do the recap, we're going to do some honorable mentions, because as we talked about last week, there's just too much. We try to pick 4 topics. We end up arguing because I want one thing, you want another, and then we just have to give up and somebody just walks away upset and we go to bed and we don't talk.
I sleep on the couch. It's a tough thing.
So let's go over those really quickly. 4 honorable mentions. But with that, Will, why don't you give us a recap of our winners this week?
Absolutely. All right. So, Apple of the Week, James Gunn. And then moving on, the Marvel misdirections. Moving on to some giggles. So, the Google GDC, Stadia. And then finally, Muffin of the Week, the Nindies.
The Nindies!
Nindies! That is our wrap up for the week. One thing, be always on the lookout. We have swag. Be on the lookout for some swag. Yeah, we love our swag. I hope you love our swag. But be on the lookout for some shout outs for our swag. Where you can get it, just reach out to us, hit us up, slide into them DMs for some swag.
Slide in deep.
That's right. But Asa, what's going on this weekend? How can people get a hold of you?
Okay, what am I doing this weekend? Man, I'll tell you what. I just want to just play some games and sleep, and that's it. Yeah. So, but if you want to find me, you can find me at @greenriver on Twitter and Instagram. Same thing in both places. But Will, what are you doing this weekend, and where can people find you?
This weekend, your weekend sounds ideal. I think I would like that for myself. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. But we're all praying around here. I am going to be really wanting to dive deeper into the Division 2. I did get that game, and I really am enjoying it thus far. I am not far into it by any means, but I think I'm going to be excited for continuing on with that. And then for those of you that don't know, I do CrossFit, and the CrossFit Open is coming to a close for the 2019 season. So we'll have our latest workout coming up here, and yeah, I'll probably do that. And if you wanted to follow me and where you can find me, so on Twitter, it's WEV4NS44, and then on Instagram, that is my preference. It is WEV4NS24.
If you want to connect with us, like we would love to connect with you, please go to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Search Borderline Entertainment. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, all of that wonderful stuff. Be a part of the community and join the conversation. We really want to give a huge shout out to everybody in the chat, and thank you to everybody for watching, period. Whether you're watching it on Twitch or YouTube, please share this with your friends. And you know what? If you're not, think about subscribing, because we have a lot of content and we have a lot more coming soon. So if you want to get notifications and you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell. But for Will, I'm Asa.
Thanks, guys.
Be well, Borderline fans.